Welcome to the Electric Spirit Podcast. Today, we welcome to the show Grey Coutts. Grey is an artist and creative director who explores spirituality through his vibrant abstract paintings. In 2013, Grey earned a degree in graphic design from the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth. In his artwork, Grey taps into the flow of creative energy to produce unique, emotionally expressive pieces. Recently, Coots has integrated his spiritual studies with his client work, creating energy portraits that capture the essence of the client by tuning into their energy. Coots resides in Hollywood, California, where he continues to experience life and create art. You can find Grey on his website, greycoutsart.com. Hi, Grey. Welcome to the Electric Spirit Podcast.
Hey, how's it going? Happy to be here.
Good. I'm glad you're here. So I guess we'll just dive right in.
Cool.
Yeah. My first question for you is, please tell me about yourself and how you began painting.
Yeah, so I guess I discovered that I was like truly a painter in college. But I started diving into the arts more towards the end of high school. And I remember just like staring at these crazy like abstract paintings I would see like in the hallway of my college, and I was like, I want to do that. But I didn't think that I was a painter at all, because I used to like be even scared to like hold a paintbrush, let alone like make a masterpiece, you know? Then after a lot of like experimentation and discovery with myself and with the medium, I discovered that, hey, I can paint.
Oh, wow. That's cool. I like that. So how old were you when you started painting? Older, right?
I believe I was probably trying to think like when I graduated from college.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's like maybe like around 20-ish, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that. And so you do energy portraits.
Yes.
And that was a big draw to have you on my show. Sorry. I'm
Yes. Yeah.
tongue-tied. I like art anyways because I have artists in my family, and I like to paint and draw too. Probably not as good as you, but I have some sort of talent.
I always say everybody's an artist. Like, it's just about
Yeah,
like discovering, it's
right,
about doing something, really.
right. Yeah. So you do energy portraits. And so can you please talk about what an energy portrait is?
Yeah, so an
Yeah.
energy portrait is basically an abstract representation of the client's energy on a canvas. And when I do this, I also infuse like intentions on the bare canvas that I discuss and sometimes just make up on the spot when I'm spending time with the client, if they're doing it with me in person. So during this process, I'm able to read them and then interpret them visually with color on the canvas. And in the end, you get a beautiful looking abstract, and it holds the vibration of them at their highest potential. And they get to hang that in their space and then see that every day as like a daily reminder that they can do, be, and achieve anything they desire.
Wow, that's really cool. I like that. And how has painting helped you grow in your personal life?
Yeah, painting has been sort of like a therapy for myself.
Mm.
When you're going through a rough time, or like even if you're having a good day, it's just like a form of expression. But I did find myself just like when I'm having like rapid thoughts, I would just go paint, and then everything would then come out on the canvas, and I'd take a step back and I'd be like, well, that was a healthy way to deal with what I was going through. Um, and after that, it just became sort of like a habit, and I was always painting. And then throughout the long, what, like 11 years now, that I've been painting, like I just really truly discovered like this, what the energy portrait was like maybe 2.5, 3 years ago. Because I realized I was doing it for myself, and if I could do it for myself, then I could do it for other people.
Right, exactly. But you seem like you're pretty intuitive, is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. When did you notice that ability or figure that out? I'm just curious.
Yeah, kind of all started happening Junior year of college. It was a little overwhelming, honestly, because I
Yeah.
always felt like I always like knew things, but I was never like, oh, what? I don't know. I'm not psychic or anything. Like, what does that even mean? But then,
Yeah.
like, I started learning about a lot of stuff and experiencing a lot more. And that brings us to today.
Wow, that's cool. I like that. So you're in tune with your third eye, or your third eye
Yes,
is open, and
it
you're in
is.
tune with your intuition.
Yep.
Um, how did you discover you can help other people heal with art?
Yeah, it's like I guess it kind of was through the self-discovery of finding out about how I was doing it for myself. And once I figured that out, I realized that if I'm channeling my own energy or thoughts or energy, then I can do that for somebody else. And being able to have them do that, and it's even more powerful if they can be there next to me watching me do it, because the whole thing happens within the matter of 20 to like 45 minutes. I can paint in front of their eyes, and them seeing that, one, it kind of like opens up their own like expansion of the mind, and two, it just like allows them to actually see me in action. So it gives the piece a little bit more importance than if I was just like mail it to them. But after
Yeah,
I do this with people, they hang in their space and they text me and they were like, wow, this is really powerful because I get to look at this every day and it's really just like a beautiful piece of art. But in addition, I remember all the things that we and intentions that we place into it. And it just really is like a beautiful energy to my space.
sure. So if you do it when someone's not in person with you, would you do it on Zoom, or how would you connect with them?
Yeah, it's I could just like channel the energy. I mean, we'd have a Zoom call before and then we'd
Oh,
kind of like talk about like where they are in their life, what they're like searching for, what they want, what's holding them back. So from that conversation, colors will start to come in. Um, but also I kind of like get the vibe. I've done a few remote ones. One of them I did where we didn't have a Zoom call, and then I do have one coming up that I'm going to be doing live on Zoom for them.
wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And what sizes of the like canvas do you use
Well,
generally?
I guess it all comes down to like
Hmm.
the price range. But I like to do 3 foot by 3 foot, which is the one that's behind me right now. I think that's a beautiful size for a piece.
Yeah, and just so the people watching on the YouTube channel know, that is your art behind you.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you do that one? I'm just curious. Was it
Yeah.
pouring or?
This one was like a process of I think 2 weeks. This is spray paint and acrylic. Uh,
Wow.
but some of the ones that aren't quote unquote energy portraits, like they have to go through this like process. So I could start it and then I'll leave it there for a few days, and then when I'm inspired, then I'll go back to it. So it's not like
Yeah.
for this one specifically, it was like a journey.
I really like the colors in your
Yeah, this one's pretty
painting.
like vivid. It's like dancing like fire energy.
Wow. And the spray paint element's really cool too.
Yeah, I love it's
Yeah.
just like quick and easy for me to like spray. I need to get
Yeah.
my mark out. So I love using spray paint. And like the combination of acrylic and spray paint makes some cool textures, and the way when they mix together they make some cool elements.
Yeah. Sounds really cool. What is the process of a piece from start to finish?
Yeah, so for the energy portrait, the process would be like the client would reach out, or I would, they would discover it somehow. We'd have an initial phone call. We would talk about where they're at in life, where they want to go. And then if they're around the LA area, or if they want to make the trip to LA, I love to like take them to the art store so I can kind of like start picking colors and have them there. So I'm vibing off of them at the same time. And I'll also be like, if you see any colors you like, just like pick one out, throw it in the basket. Um, so that's always fun to experience with them. And after that, I would take them back to my studio, and that's where we would paint. So we would like then write down intentions underneath on the blank white canvas to then be covered up by the energy portrait on top of it.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. And what do you find you are most creatively inspired by?
I think it's just really inspired by like emotion.
Mm,
That's the base of all of the paintings, is it comes from the an emotion. Like let's say that there's like depression or anxiety, like I find that those are times when I'm most active. Um, then at the same time, like if I'm really happy, like I can go and I'll paint like a more bright and vibrant piece. So my all of my art in general is like a representation of all the energy and emotion that is seen and unseen, mostly that I'm experiencing. But as I start to like grow as an artist too, like with the energy portrait, like other people's emotion and energy do come into play too.
interesting. Wow. So when you're kind of, let's say you're in a bad mood, would it be different colors than when you're happy? Do you feel or
I rarely like plan out my color palettes. I
mm,
kind of just pick from what I have.
yeah.
But specifically, if I know I'm gonna make a piece, and I'm gonna go buy a new canvas and buy paint specifically for that piece. Again, it's sort of like intuitive. I just start yanking colors from the shelves, and then
Oh,
that's how I do it. Yeah.
oh, that's cool. And how do you fuse art and spirituality?
Yeah, so that's really from like me being able to sense energy, and me reacting to that. So if I get the feeling, then I'll put it on the canvas. And at the same time, that's how the whole portrait process works too. It's like that feeling that I'm getting from them and then the reaction on the blank canvas.
Wow, that's really cool. And were you always good at art in general?
No, I mean maybe it's always been like hidden inside of me. I'm not too sure, but I just always remember. Actually, I was thinking about this yesterday. I have this like vivid memory like of me like as a really young child, like over summer break, and my mom's making me do like math equations and stuff like that to just like practice for when school comes. But I was not interested in any of that. But I remember this like where I had to cut out these shapes with scissors, and there was this like one shape that was like this squiggly like circle, and that's like the earliest memory I can ever point back to like creativity.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, no, I was not creative at all. I always did like art class, and then looking back too, I'd be like, there were definite signs that I was an artist as I was growing up, but never really took that into account until like towards the end of high school.
wow, that's cool. So you took art class too. I did too, like
Yeah.
photography and art. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's cool.
yes, I
Drama.
did also. Yeah, and then there was
Yeah,
like a graphics art class too where you could
yeah.
draw in the computer.
Yeah, that's cool. And how has your style evolved over the years?
Yes, so I feel like a big part of every like artist is like finding themselves and their unique style. And from the start, I was always just dripping paint, and seeing what happened, like really like letting gravity take the paint and
Oh,
do what it wants with it. So that's been like my main like theme throughout my art this entirety of my exploration. But I guess from where it shifted back then to now is my color theory has like grown immensely, and I'm more like conscious of what colors I'm using, even though like I was saying, like it may not be intentional. Like my like sense of picking the colors has gotten stronger. And now like I'm infusing more purpose into my art. There's always been purpose, but now like I can look at a piece and tell you, oh, I know what I was feeling during that time.
oh, that's cool. And why do you want to help people heal with art?
I mean, I've just found it a really like good tool for myself, and if I know how to do it for myself, then
Yeah.
I know how to do it for other people, and then I can empower them that way. And this also sort of like this alternative way of like healing, it's like not many people can hand you a piece of art and say, hey, this is you, this is gonna whenever you see this, it's just a reminder that you can do whatever you want in life.
Right.
And really infusing all of their energy into it is it's really cool for me to do. And I've been told a few times, or most of the time actually, that it's really powerful in their home. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. And I have a question from a listener.
Cool.
It's kind of a couple parts. I hope that's okay. This is
That's
from a
fine.
listener. Yeah. Lisa B. And she says, is each spirit art painting different for each person?
Yes, so each one is completely unique to the individual. For example, if I did yours, I don't know what's going to happen until I do it. So I'm not planning out anything, just the colors beforehand. I'll go select, and then I just kind of like let the energy or spirit, however we want to identify it, sort of come through. And then when I'm done, I'm done. Yeah, so everything is like 100% unique and unplanned.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then do you see, or this is another part of the question, do you see auras, like people's auras? Or do you use those colors or?
Well, I guess seeing is an interesting question, because sometimes like I can get a glimpse of it like visually, with my eyes, but I'm not seeing that all the time. I guess what I'm doing is sensing it or interpreting it in the
Mhm.
way that it comes into my body or my mind as a feeling. Um, so yes, I am seeing, but it could be like through my third eye rather than my actual eyes.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So if you saw, let's say you saw red around me, would you use red in the picture or the painting?
I mean, yes, most likely. But again, like if I was to pick red for you, it would definitely, I would have like picked that up through a feeling, even if I did see it or if I didn't see it.
Hmm. I see indigo blue around you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I can see your aura. Hope
Yeah,
I
I was
didn't
trying to
scare
look.
you.
I was trying to look. I was like, does she have red aura right now? But I can't. I don't. It doesn't like. It's not
Yeah.
always on for me. Like I'll get
Hmm.
certain like little
Yeah.
glimpses. Sometimes.
Right. That's cool. And so let's see what else she asked. Do you connect with spirit around the client when painting? So let's say you're painting me. Would you connect with maybe one of my angels or guides or maybe somebody that crossed over or don't you know? Or
I wouldn't say that like that's something that intentionally happens during it, because it's really about like the person that I'm doing it for. So like an ancestor won't come in and be like, hey, we need some blue over here. Like that's not how it would work. And I don't that sometimes like I can get little inklings of those types of things, but specifically when this is happening, it's really just about the person, whether I'm not aware that I'm being influenced by their angels or their spirits or ancestors, however we want to define them. It's really, I focus on them and whatever's coming directly from them to me.
okay, I see. And this is another part of the question. It's like a four-part question. Um, oh, do they show or tell you what to paint? The
I
spirits.
mean, when I'm making decisions,
Yeah.
I'm sort of just doing it. So
Okay.
something is telling me what to do,
Yeah,
which is yet to be defined. Call it
exactly.
source.
Interesting. Okay. So let's pretend you're gonna paint for me and we were just on Zoom. Would I just be quiet and let you do your work, or how does that work? I'm
Yeah,
just
well,
curious.
I mean, I usually like the person to bring like a playlist of about 7 or 8 songs,
Wow.
because I like to sort of go with the music and everything. So these songs can be anything, how they're important to you in your life. So we would play those. And yeah, it's you don't have much of like an input while like the process is going on, because I don't really have any input either. I'm just sort of like reacting. So the people who are usually with me in person, they just kind of sit and observe. So that's what would happen on Zoom too. So you would just
Mm.
be able to like watch everything.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And then how long does it take you to finish?
Uh, it can happen from anywhere up to like 20 to 45 minutes. One time I completed an energy portrait I did for myself in literally 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, this just happened. That was pretty crazy.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you're originally from the Massachusetts area,
Yes. Yep.
and
I grew
you
up in Braintree. Yep.
okay, and you moved to California. It was that for your art? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it'll be 5 years this July.
Mm,
And I kind of just really needed a big change. And I
yeah.
was getting tired of Boston. And I don't think
Mhm.
it's my home, but it's not like my home, you know? Um, so I came out here because it's good for my design and direction stuff that I do within the music industry, but it's also like more geared towards the type of art that I'm doing. And there's just a lot more opportunity for me here.
Right, exactly. I agree. I used to live in the Boston area too, and I lived out here. It's just more for probably creative types, you
Yes,
know. Plus,
absolutely.
California is now the fourth largest economy in the world.
Nice.
So this is a good place to be.
Yeah.
We could function as our own country if we had to.
Hey, you never know what might happen soon.
That's true. So, I just wonder like what opportunities you've had in the Los Angeles area. If you want to tell the listeners, like, do you get involved in different things? Like you mentioned something about the music industry, or do you get different opportunities or?
Yeah, it's all in process. It's all just sort of like a process because some months you can have like 5 or 6 opportunities, and the others you'll be like won't have one for a few months, you know. But being in LA, I have met somebody that I was able to showcase at Art Basel in Miami, which was a huge goal of mine. I got to do an immersive installation there, which would have never happened if I didn't move to LA. I've gotten to direct and creatively direct a number of music videos for different artists, which is awesome because I love to infuse like my art into that too. And most recently, I've just got a manager for my fine art, so we've been working on like building up the momentum, and hopefully we'll be having some shows soon. And yeah, all this is just got to just step outside of your comfort zone and find the opportunities, but also at the same time let them find you.
Definitely, for sure. That's amazing. And our tagline for the Electric Spirit podcast is igniting your spirit. How do you ignite your spirit, Gray?
I ignite my spirit by, I think, like basically what I was just saying about pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, whether that be with paint or be in life. I find that like that's when I truly am shining, is when I'm forcing myself to evolve and change and grow into the best version of myself.
Wow, that's great. And then what are your plans for the future?
Um, it's take it day by day, but I hope to be having like a bigger studio and selling like weekly, and have my own like production company, which I'm starting now. So yeah, and I would love to do murals and travel and sell my art all over the place.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely can see that for sure. I don't know if you want to talk about anything else before we go. It's up to you. You want to add
Um,
anything?
I mean, we covered a lot, yeah. But if
Yeah.
anybody's interested in the energy portraits or any art in general, they could reach out to me from my website at greycoutsart.com, or my Instagram is Grey Coutts. And yeah,
That's amazing. I'm so glad you were here today.
yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.